I know. Can you not? What are you doing?
Welcome to Over the Years. My name is Tim, and I love vintage items. I hunt for treasures and bring you the ultimate prizes of antiques, collectibles, and vintage decor. Join me, my dukes, my girlfriend Josie, and other guests as we search for history. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's Tim from Over the Years, and we are here. It is a beautiful Saturday, and I'm about to show you everything that's sold Tuesday through Friday on eBay, Etsy, Mercari, Grailed, and Depop. No Poshmark orders during that time, but we have been sharing, we have been listing, so the work is being done. I have my computer in front of me today and not the phone because I already dumped all the photos of everything that sold onto the computer and then I deleted them off my phone. So please forgive me for the laptop blocking my six-pack. And I also went to a yard sale today. So I'm going to show you guys what I picked up at the yard sale. But first, we're going to jump right in to eBay and go over the orders from eBay. So there's enough space over here for me to show them on the screen, right?
Right.
All right. Ma Duke's doing the camera work, killing the camera game. Thank you. I love you, Ma. You don't love me too?
Yeah, I love you too.
Sounds so enthusiastic about that. All right. So the first thing that sold this week on eBay was this little remote. It's for Naxa, I guess. But this remote sold for $15.99. So it was a nice profit on those remotes. I usually pay no more than $1.99 for a remote. So, and I don't remember where I got this. I think I got it at the thrift store right before lockdown. The next thing that sold on eBay this week was a hat from our vintage hat haul, and I will put the link for that right up there for you. If you haven't seen that live yet with me and Cernock, it's insane. These hats have started to fly already, so I'm super stoked about it. I'm about $1, I can't remember the exact number. I think it was $1.69 into each hat. So this hat sold for $19.99. It is a vintage 90s Hawaii trucker hat made by Hawaiian headwear, and it had the laurel leaves on the brim. It was a really nice hat, actually. The next thing that sold on eBay was this. This was a huge money piece. This is actually from Ma Duke's. It is a vintage Heron Chinese bouquet green 7-inch clawfoot base. It's like an urn vase. If you guys ever see Heron when you're out thrifting, pick it up. It's hard to get it for cheap at estate sales because it's one of those companies that they typically know, so they price it insane. But this went for $159.99 plus shipping. Next thing that sold on eBay was this vintage Limoges porcelain doorknobs. There was 3 pairs of them, and they were like screwed into a wood piece, and it had some French writing on it. I got this at a yard sale for $10. I had it for almost a year now, and it was in my Etsy store, and I just recently added it to eBay. What was that face?
Stop cracking your knuckles.
Okay. I added it to eBay recently, and somebody sent me an offer. I had it originally for like $100, and then I dropped it to $75, and then they sent me an offer for $60, and I was like, you know what? The profit's there. I don't need to hold on to this any longer. So I took the best offer, $59.99 plus shipping. Now we're going to get into a stage of an insane Furby run. So we seem to be doing okay with these Furbies, right? We've been moving them. So this one is this set of Furbies. I'm not going to go too into detail about them. They're all McDonald's toys. Then I have like 8 groups. I think it's 5 groups of 8 pairs that all did something different. So this one sold to one person for $7.99 plus shipping. Then I had somebody buy 4 pairs of Furbies So they were all in for $28 plus shipping, which was about 20 bucks. So you could see there's 4 different kinds that person bought. And when I like scroll the Furbies, like picture after picture, it's kind of creepy looking.
How many Furbies we got left?
I don't know. We're probably a little bit more than half, I think.
Okay.
So they're doing okay. I'd be happy once they're all gone. This is another hat. This is a hat I got previous to my vintage hat haul. This is a New Era California Republic fitted hat, and the buyer bought that for $14.99 plus shipping. The next thing that sold is another one of those Time magazines from the Time magazine lot that I basically got for free from my estate sale lady hookup, and the buyer bought that for $9 plus shipping. And next on eBay, this came from a junk box that I had of a whole bunch of stuff that I won for $5 at an auction. And this was a vintage Sunoco gas advertising mechanical pencil, and it sold for $13.75 plus shipping. I sold a lot of stuff out of that little box already.
Yeah, that was in a death pile for a long time.
It was. I don't think there's anything left from that actually listed. But I do have those plastic whistles I need to list. Alright, so that is everything from eBay. Now we're going to go ahead. I sold one thing on Mercari. Let's go ahead and do that. So what I sold on Mercari. So this was from my vintage t-shirt unboxing video. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link up there for you. This was a vintage Million Woman March from t-shirt from 1997. I had offers and likes on all different levels of craziness on all the platforms, and eventually I just decided to take this offer because I just was like, all right, let's do it. I was basically, I can't remember how much I was all in on each piece for that box. I think it was like $5. But anyways, this shirt sold for $43, and that included shipping, which ended up being like $3 and some change. So nice profit on that shirt. And now I think we're gonna go ahead and jump into do Grailed. Oh no, we'll do Depop. You know what? We're gonna go ahead and show you guys some footage from a yard sale that I went to today. And when we're done looking at that footage, I'm gonna show you what I got, and then we'll go into what else sold this week, Tuesday through Friday. Okay, so I was driving to Ma Duke's house and I spotted a couple yard sales. So I'm gonna try and, good thing I got my mask and my gloves with me in the car. Let's see if we can find, oh, I see a Jordan jersey. Is this guy gonna get it? Come on, let me get the Jordan jersey. All right, let's go.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you doing today?
Tomorrow? No. You coming mañana?
I don't have prices on here, but you can give me an offer on any of this stuff if you're interested.
Yeah, because I was going to work. I just decided.
Oh, okay, okay.
So, yeah, if you're going here tomorrow morning, I will come back
Okay.
tomorrow morning.
You want to see this one? No, get the top of the capital. Tiene menos on that. No. Yeah. I know. Can you not? What are you doing? Film?
Basically, it's like 2 yard sales in one cul-de-sac. This woman in this yard sale over here was not happy that I was recording, and she is selling everything at absolutely outrageous prices. And then right over here on this side is another woman who's literally trying to give stuff away and was super nice. So I'll show you guys what I picked up. But it's time to get back to packing and get on the road. Peace. All right. So, whoa.
What was that?
So it was kind of crazy at that yard sale, as you guys saw in that brief amount of footage that I was able to take there. The woman was not happy about me filming. I don't know if it's because, I don't know if you're allowed to have yard sales yet or not, or if she just didn't want to be filmed. So there was 2 yard sales in the cul-de-sac. The first one I went to where the prices were kind of outrageous. The dude did have these golf clubs. So it's a whole set. 3 iron, well, not a whole set, but pretty much it's a 3 iron to pitching wedge, and these are Big Bertha by Callaway. I believe these are from 1996, and they all have graphite shafts, which is dope. And then he threw this wedge, which I'd never heard of before. I didn't even comp it yet, and he threw that in there for free. So I got the whole set and this wedge for $25, which is a steal. I think I can get like 75 to 100 probably for that set. And then I got this Michael Jordan North Carolina jersey. So it definitely has some discoloration, but I'm not worried about that because the last Jordan jersey that I got had some discoloration, and we were able to oxy it out, and it sold for $130. So I initially didn't get it, but when I went back to the car, I kind of started, let me just double check the comps. They had $20 on it. And so it is stitched. So that's always a good sign. The comps,
look at the pits on that. We're going to have to really oxy that.
yeah, I know that.
Okay.
So typically the comps on this are all over the map. I saw them anywhere from like $30, $25, all the way up to $150. So we'll see where I land with it. But like right now, you got to capitalize on the Jordan stuff because of The Last Dance. She had $20 on it. I pointed out all the discoloration, and she said, I'll give it to you for $15, which was like pulling teeth for her. But I went ahead and did it.
Is that the lady that didn't want you filming?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I got that for $15.
I'm surprised she cut you a break.
Then I went to the other house in the cul-de-sac, and it didn't really have much, but she was super nice. And I did see some gravy boats, and I really just I am, but not yet. I gotta do it. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Okay. All right. I can give you my card if you want. All right.
Oh, okay.
It's a medium. It's a little small for you, but I give you my card though, cause I always got like hats, jerseys, shirts.
Bye.
I can do large.
Yeah.
I'll come right back.
Alright, so this is like an old card, but it has my email on there.
Okay.
If you send my email, I'll shoot you like where I have all my stuff. Cool?
Yeah, sounds
Alright.
good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
Okay. Hello.
Alright.
Back to business.
Gravy boats.
That's what happens when you're filming in your garage.
So I found this gravy boat, and it has the underplate attached to it.
Is that a Johnson Brothers?
It's not Johnson Brothers, it's actually Adams.
Oh, Adams. Oh, cool.
So it was $2, and I love these gravy boats with the attached underplate, and it just has that like really
got a nice
classic
look.
shape to it.
Yeah.
No damage whatsoever. $2, you can't really beat that. And so the woman was super nice, and she decided she was going to throw in this gravy boat for free. Now there's no markings on it, but it is a gorgeous pattern. It's got a little bit of crazing, but that's typical. Look at that.
Ooh, I like that.
Pretty, right?
Very pretty. Ooh. Very
So
pretty.
2 gravy boats for $2. Can't beat it.
$1 a gravy boat.
What's that?
$1 a boat.
$1 a boat, baby.
By
All right,
anybody's math.
So just
Okay.
to be able to stop by a yard sale kind of felt good. I was lucky because I always keep my mask and gloves in the car. And I feel like I spent $2, 15, that's 17, plus 25 is $42.
Yeah.
So I spent $42, and I look to hopefully make, I mean, 130. I think I can make about 160 to $200 on those pieces right there.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty stoked about that. All right, so let me go ahead and show you guys what else sold this week.
Okay.
So it had been a really slow go with Depop, but I did make 2 sales on Depop from Tuesday to Friday. The first thing was a hat that sold that went to Australia, and it was out of the vintage hat haul. It was a vintage 90s hunting orange trucker hat novelty. It said, "A bad day in the woods is a good day at work," or "A bad day in the woods
is better
beats a good day at work." So that was pretty cool, because I didn't expect, these hats, it's like Cernock says, the ones that you don't really think are going to sell end up selling the quickest, which is kind of crazy. So that sold for $15 plus shipping. The next thing that sold, I've had this Dallas Cowboys jacket for a long time. Josie and I picked it up at the thrift store, and she soaked it, and then after she soaked it and cleaned it, it still had some discoloration on its sleeves, which I put in the description, and then it had been sitting around in the basement for forever. And I was just like, when I did the cleanup of the area, I was like, I'm just gonna list this thing. I hate the Cowboys because I'm a Redskins fan, but lo and behold, my man Sonny from Las Vegas Thrifts, who's a Cowboys fan. If you guys, I'm sure most of you know, if you're not subscribed to Sonny, I'll put his link in the description. His picture's like probably right around here right now. And he came through, he just got on Depop, and he was on there, and I guess, he saw the jacket, and he was like, yo, I gotta grab this. So he bought the vintage 90s Dallas Cowboys starter jacket, size 2XL, and he bought it for $39.99 plus shipping. So I hope you like it, Sonny. If you don't, no returns. But I'll throw
Especially
you
if it's the Cowgirls. Okay, go ahead.
Nah, but I appreciate it, Sonny. Really appreciate the support, brother. So those are 2 things that sold on Depop Tuesday through Friday. So now we're gonna go ahead and show you guys what sold on Grailed. Grailed was on fire because I just kind of started getting into listing these hats from the hat haul. So this is, all right, let's go. So the first hat that sold on Grailed is actually a hat that I just picked up at the flea market. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, Josie and I went to the flea market for the first time in a long time, obviously, and we got a bunch of hats. I'll put the link for that video right up there. But this hat sold like in less than 24 hours. It was a vintage 90s sports car graphic trucker hat, and it was Boosie's Garage, and that sold for $31, and that included shipping. So I was stoked about that. The next hat that sold was from the vintage hat haul lot, and this was the big kahuna so far that I sold. This sold for $65. It was a vintage 90s Iditarod. It's the dog sled race in Alaska. It was all corduroy. It was from 1993, snapback, sick. And I could not find this exact hat anywhere. The buyer bought that for $65, including shipping. So I was really stoked about that sale. And the next thing that sold on Grailed was this Yeti Coolers snapback rope hat. We got this at the thrift store after the auction, my Dukes and I. This sold, I thought it looked cool. I ain't really comp it when I bought it. And it's not like super vintage or anything, but it sold. I made a profit. It was $14, including shipping. Out the door. The next thing that sold on Grailed was this is a hat from the vintage hat haul. This was a vintage 90s Myrtle Beach snapback trucker hat, and that sold for $23, shipping included. All the Grailed prices are going to include shipping right now. So if you guys also haven't seen the video of the vintage NASCAR haul, I'll put the link right up there for you. The first shirt has sold. I just listed the second batch of 5 yesterday. So this one sold in less than 24 hours, and it was the Chase Authentics Made in the USA vintage 1990s Dale Earnhardt all over print t-shirt, and the buyer was all in for $78. So I'm $8 in on each one of those shirts. So After shipping, it was like $73, and then the fees on Grailed are super cheap. So it was basically like a $60, give or take, profit on that shirt, which was dope. So that's everything that's sold on Grailed Tuesday through Friday. Now we're gonna go ahead and jump into Etsy, and we got a lot, not too much actually. So first up is this vintage Liberty Blue Staffordshire historic colonial scenes dinner plate. So Liberty Blue is one of these things that always basically sells for us. So whenever I can get it cheap, I always buy it. Not everything sells for big money, but it does sell a lot. And there are certain pieces that are very valuable. So I think I'm going to do a video on some Liberty Blue here soon. So stay tuned for that. But this dinner plate sold for, the buyer was all in with shipping and tax, for $19.93. Next up was this really gorgeous Sadler teapot. It had pink and blue flowers on it. It was ribbed, and the ribs kind of did like this swirl. Gold gild on the handle and the spout. It was gorgeous. The buyer was all in for that teapot for $79.25. The woman needed it shipped ASAP for her daughter's tea party, so we got that sent out early for her. Next up was this vintage L.E. Smith Amberina Moon and Stars water goblet. I've had this for a while. It's that really pretty piece, and the buyer is all in for $21.38 for that goblet. Next up is, this stuff has just been moving. It is that M.A. Hadley pottery. This was the ship and whale plate, and the buyer was all in on that plate for $24.50. Let me make sure. $20.92. So we also sold another Liberty Blue plate, same dinner plate. This one the buyer was all in for $20.92. The weird thing about Liberty Blue is like it kind of like comes in these waves, and then people just buy it all up. It's wild. But I have a whole box of Liberty Blue, all different types of Liberty Blue.
I guess a lot of it has to do with what replacements has and what they sell it for. It's some of these pieces. You look at it and you think, this is Menlo, whatever. And then you look at what replacements is selling it for, and you might have some random pieces, but eventually you might just sell them.
Yeah, and I mean, it's that blue and white china. It's, you can
anything.
Never...
Yeah, blue and white is just never going to go out of style.
Nope.
I'll tell you that right now. It's classic.
And the next thing that sold, thank God, it is gone.
And thank God and Greyhound, it's gone.
If you haven't heard me before, anytime I sell a piece of false graph, I tell you that I'll never buy false graph ever again. I have one piece of false graph left since this sold. This was a vintage false graph remembrance was the name of the pattern. I lotted up a bunch of stuff, a teapot, some cups and saucers, and it was in my clearance section, 40% off. But the buyer was all in after discounts and shipping for $42.15. Next up, this one I believe was from Madu's collection, although I think we have two of them. This was the vintage Fenton glass cameo opalescent Lily of the Valley handkerchief vase. Really pretty.
Yeah, it was my collection. I had two pieces.
No, I got one too. I found one.
Oh, okay.
It might have been a different cameo opalescent piece, but I know we have two.
They were both pedestal type things.
Yeah.
One was a handkerchief and the other one was like a nice compote.
It was like a nut dish.
Okay.
Compote. It's like a footed compote.
Right. Yeah.
But the buyer was all in on that for $48.49. Now, this Hall teapot that I just sold. Funny thing is, we were talking about Sonny from Las Vegas Thrifts earlier. I was watching his live unboxing while I was photographing some shirts the other night of his, not unboxing, his live Goodwill haul. And he pulled out this teapot. The Hall Autumn Leaf Jewel Tea Aladdin teapot with the infuser. And immediately, I knew what it was, so I'm typing in the chat. And like, he's stoked. I'm like, yeah, you could sell that thing for like 50 to 60 bucks easily. And literally, like less than like 10 hours after that, we sold one of the ones that we had. And ours had like a crack. This is like the fourth or fifth one we sold. This one had a crack on the inside of the lid. So it was a little bit cheaper, but still $49.99 plus shipping. So the buyer was all in for $64.17. The next order is a doozy. It is a huge order. I want to say it's 5 items. So the first item was this vintage Ramses glass frosted green satin Vaseline uranium glass Art Deco powder bowl. It had like this woman like naked in the like grass, like it was crazy. So they got that, was $44.99. Then they got a gold rose, like that really gaudy all gold mid-century modern stuff creamer by Picard. And then she also got a Hall teapot, the football shape, and it had West Virginia University on it. And then she also got a vintage Federal glass Sharon Green or Cabbage Rose. The pattern gets both those names. Uranium glass oval platter. And then she got an antique Fenton glass number 8, also known as Water Lily in Cattails. It was a opalescent green uranium glass large berry bowl. So after all of that, and she lives in California somewhere. You know, we're in DC, Maryland, so the shipping is insane. I don't know if it's gonna be this much, but the total of the items was $194.95. The shipping was $161.11 for those 5 items. So I think we can save her a little bit of money.
Little comment. Let's see how. What's the biggest? Is it? You think we're going to get it all in a what?
I don't know. I think we might have to put that into 2 boxes.
Yeah, you might want to do that.
I mean, the teapot and the bowl are big. The platter is a little bit big too, but
It's just an awkward size.
Those other 2 pieces are kind of small. So we'll see what we can do. But the total, the buyer's all in for $371.15, one order. So that was huge. Next up was this vintage brass camel figurine made in India. This came from the animal shelf of my dad's collection that my mom was getting rid of. And we have 2 pieces left of that, I think.
And it sat there.
For forever.
It's just because we never got around to it.
Yeah, and then,
we didn't think it was going to sell for that much. It was like, God, I got so much other stuff. I got a list. I can't do this now. Don't show me that now. That's something that we don't need to do right now. So I'm like, okay.
How much do you think we got for that figurine?
$25.
$49.99.
Get out.
Yes, $49.99 plus shipping. The buyer is all in for $55.69.
Good night, nurse.
Next up, this Pyrex bowl we just got at the flea market last weekend. It sold within 24 hours of listing. It was the vintage Pyrex primary green round mixing bowl, $403. I probably should have listed it for a little bit more money, but I mean, if I would have listed it for more, it would have been $5 more to listed it for. So that $5 might have made it sit for who knows how long. But I got $24.99 plus shipping. The buyer was all in on that vintage Pyrex primary green round mixing bowl, $403 for $34.49. And next up, I believe this might be the last piece. I think it is. So the last thing that sold this week, Tuesday through Friday, was this vintage Fenton glass, custard satin, Vaseline glass, uranium glass. I can't say this word, but I'm gonna try. Baroque. B-A-R-O-Q-U-E.
Yeah, it would be Baroque.
I wish you guys could see my face, my mom's face when she said that. She said, that would be Baroque. So the Baroque candy box, that sold. The buyer was all in for $35.59.
We done.
That is everything that sold Tuesday through Friday. It was a short week because we included Monday in our last What Sold video because it was Memorial Day weekend. So thank you guys very much. As always, I hope you learned something. If you guys ever have any questions, leave it in the comments. Send me a message on Instagram. I'm more than happy to help anybody out. So we will be live on Monday and with a new show, and then maybe another video on Tuesday. So we're getting close. We're cranking these videos out. I really thank you guys for all your support. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And we will see you guys live on Monday night.